evening, and thanks for watching CTV Sports. Instead of the national championship game or opening day, I'm Travis Green.
Trav, let's be real. People are definitely watching us on tape delay.
Yeah.
And I'm Patrick Enslow, by the way. Spring football is heating up. Saturday, CSU had an inter-squad scrimmage at Hughes Stadium. Nick Stevens completed 13 passes for 156 yards, while Coleman Key completed 10 passes for 160 yards. Offensively, the Rams ran 49 passes with 26 run plays on the ground. The Rams split touches between Jason Oden Jr., Dalen Dawkins, and Darren Thompson. Oden Jr. had a majority of the production, running for 59 yards on 11 carries. Saturday, CSU will head to Denver to play another scrimmage at Dove Valley. Trav, obviously this quarterback battle is heating up, and it's just tough to talk about. I'm stumbling over my words. You know, I think I'm about to shed a tear here. But,
it's been a long day. But, hey, Coach Bobo said after the game he ran a lot of passing plays in this one, and his reasoning was he wanted to see the receivers work and the quarterbacks work. And I think that tells me he has not decided on a quarterback yet. As we've talked about, Coleman Key, Nick Stevens very close in this one, but he also said he liked the way Nick Stevens managed this game, which we would expect. He has a little more experience at the college level than Coleman Key, going to be a freshman. Stevens obviously played last year, so I think he's got that upper hand right now.
And I think during that spring game, we'll get the most exposure to Coach Bobo media-wise, and I think everyone's going to be leading for that one thing that'll be like, oh, that's why I think Nick Stevens is playing, or that's why Coleman Key's going to get the job. So I think everyone's going to be chomping at the bit, and Savannah State's probably not the best game to have as number one because they can split reps in that game too and probably still get the win. But next game is Minnesota at home, such a big game against that Big Ten opponent. Who will get the start in that game? And I think that will be the real telltale sign.
I definitely think so. And when we look at the spring performances from this weekend, Nick Stevens and Coleman Key very close there statistically, both throwing 2 touchdowns and an interception. Jason Oden Jr. got a majority of the reps in this one, 11 rushes, 59 yards. Coach Bobo said he really liked how tough he ran in this one. And Cole Anderson, how about him, the red-shirted senior from Valor Christian, transferred from Valparaiso, correct? Valparaiso came to CSU, 2 touchdowns in this one, 85 yards. Maybe he could work his way in as a receiver.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the toughest position to work in at. But as you said, Jason Oden Jr. getting majority of the touches. And as we were talking about in the newsroom, we were very surprised to not see Treyas Gerald's out there. No touches whatsoever. I don't know if he was hurt or whatnot, but we'll kind of watch that throughout the spring to see what comes of that.
I haven't heard anything about injuries from Treyas. Maybe they just sat him out in this one. Jason Oden Jr., I think he will take over as the #1 running back this season. D. Hart was that more every down back last season. Treyas Gerald was that spell with his speed to change of pace. I think we're going to see the same thing this season. I think Oden's going to be that #1 guy, get a majority of the carries, and Treyas Gerald will be that speed back to change up the pace. But I do think Gerald will get a majority of carries also. He'll be touching the ball a lot more this year than he did last season.
And Oden Jr., yeah, we can kind of put that one away. But this quarterback battle, it'll be interesting to see how Bobo handles it. It's such a delicate race, and with 2 guys so young, each have 3 years left at CSU. So I'd imagine if he picks one starter and they kind of run away with it, I could see one quarterback leaving just because it's so tough to split time, and you got to choose one starter. And Mike Bobo knows that, being a former quarterback at Georgia.
Absolutely, and it's a very similar situation to when Coach McElwain came to Colorado State. Garrett Grayson was in a quarterback battle, and look how that one worked out for Grayson and McElwain. Grayson obviously NFL bound, McElwain off to Florida. I think this is Bobo's ticket to success in his time here at Colorado State, to get that quarterback that he trusts and have him grow as he grows as a head coach.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting because he likes to throw the ball. So a quarterback is the key to his offense. It's not like he's a heavy running offensive coordinator at Georgia. He loved to air it out when he had Matthew Stafford. So it'll be fun to watch. And both quarterbacks will be competing for attention for Rashard Higgins because, man, they will have weapons at wide receiver. It'll just be interesting who gets to throw to those wide receivers.
It definitely will. Well, over the weekend, the softball team got right back into the swing of things. After an 8-day break from games, the Rams headed out to San Jose for a 3-game series. The first 2 games were dominated by the Rams pitching. Holly Ranke threw a complete game shutout on Thursday as the Rams won 6-0 with help from Shea Rodriguez's 3 RBI. On Friday, the Rams' bats cooled down a bit, but the pitching was still spectacular. After a week in which Trinity Harrington was named the Mountain West Pitcher of the Week, she was right back at it. tossing her third consecutive complete game shutout as the Rams took the win 1-0. Saturday was a different story, however. The Spartans rocked Reinke and Harrington, who came in relief, by racking up 12 hits and bringing in 8 runs. The offensive explosion from the Spartans was too much for the Rams, and CSU dropped this one 8-0. The Rams' 2-1 weekend brings their record up to 21-17 on the season and 2-4 in conference play. Patrick, a big-time weekend for the Rams, winning 2 at San Jose State, a power in the Mountain West for softball.
Yeah, Trav, as the kids say on Twitter, that was hashtag huge. Getting their first Mountain West victories, something they desperately needed as they're getting close towards the end of the season. And if they can start racking these up, they'll get in good position for that Mountain West tournament. We saw this last year against Utah State when they just started rattling off victories. Only 1 error this weekend. That is something they really haven't seen all season from this young team. But I think Jen Fisher is really starting to find roles with pitchers like Holly Reinke and Trinity Harrington. They're really starting to develop and put up big numbers. And like freshman Savannah Clark, she's really finding her way on this team as well.
She sure is. Savannah Clark, hitting over 300 this season, moved her way up in the batting order. She started lower in the order, has worked her way up to the cleanup spot at 4, leads the team in RBIs at 27 RBI. That's really impressive from a freshman, and she's stepping up huge. And how about Trinity Harrington, the freshman? 3 consecutive complete game shutouts. She is pitching very well, worked her way into that second pitcher spot.
Yeah, and that was great to see. As we doing a comparison over here, Reinke has been the stud since day one, but Harrington really starting to kind of steal some of that spotlight, and I think it's healthy competition that Jen Fisher wants to see. And as you can see, only 3 earned runs, a 1.72 ERA. That is amazing. San Jose State led the Mountain West in every offensive category, so this is a powerhouse, and she shut them down. Except for that last game, they were unhittable.
Of course, those stats are from this weekend series against San Jose. And when we talk about Harrington, Molly Randall was that second spot pitcher, the senior, for these Rams, but Harrington has forced her way into this rotation. She could even be looked at as the ace right now. Holly Reinke, obviously a great pitcher, second-team All-Mountain West pitcher last season, but Trinity Harrington is doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, and they're starting to play softball in the best time of year, and I'm really excited to see what's in store. They'll have a big series against Utah State. Utah State not playing so well this season, get a few more wins, and I think as the season goes on, their confidence will build, and I think this will definitely be a team to watch with your top pitchers, underclassmen, and your top 2 hitters, Haley Hutton, Savannah Clark, also underclassmen. Lots of promise for this squad.
Yes, definitely. And the Rams are 14-5 since March 1st. They have this doubleheader tomorrow against Utah State in conference, and then they play one on Wednesday. I think if they sweep this Utah State team, that brings their Mountain West record over 500, goes 17-5 since March 1st. That's right where you want to be heading into more conference play.
Well, Trav, it's time now for a quick break, but when we come back, we'll give you the latest with the CSU Rodeo team.
Yeehaw! We'll be right back.
Oh, hey there, Rams. Today is a great day to play in the LSC. So let's take a look at our ballrooms, theater, and art galleries. The LSC ballrooms, which are the busiest venue in northern Colorado, have been recently renovated. The Laurie Student Center Theater can be transformed to feature films, concerts, lectures, entertainment, and banquets. And last but not least, the Kerfman Gallery provides a showcase for the creations of local and student artists.
Colorado State has one of the most prestigious equine science programs in the country. Many students love working with horses. One easy way for students to spend more time with their animals is to join the CSU Rodeo team. Keith Albertson has more about this old club.
The Colorado State Club Rodeo team is in the midst of its season. Saturday, the Rams hosted a barrel racing competition.
So this barrel racing event is a fundraiser for us. We actually had one scheduled back in February, but it was a blizzard, so we canceled it for safety reasons. So this is kind of just wedged it in, trying to get as many people to come out and have the barrel race and try to make some money, but still have a good time before our rodeo next weekend.
This upcoming rodeo is one of the biggest events of the year, and first-year coach Shiloh Whitler understands its importance to the program.
You know, CSU Rodeo, the Skyline Stampede, is one of the oldest collegiate rodeos in the nation, and so we just didn't want to see that die, and the program has kind of lost a lot of its foundation over the years, and so that's what we're trying to really build back.
Go, go, go!
Club president Tanner Isaacs has noticed a bucking of that trend, though, since he started at CSU.
We've definitely grown a lot. Our reputation with the school has definitely gone up. We have a very good foundation now with the school. We have a great officer committee, great committee, head committee, and people that just really are motivated to push forth and make this rodeo team the best there is in the region.
A lot of emphasis is put on bringing in newcomers to get involved early.
We have a lot of new people coming in that, you know, haven't done it a whole lot, but they're getting into it, and it's just the perfect environment for them to do so.
Grave thinks the variety of skill sets makes the rodeos more enjoyable for participants.
It doesn't matter, you know, if you're new at it like me, or if you've done it for years, they all go to the rodeos and they all compete and they all have fun. It's a great program too.
We're just really excited for next weekend, and we hope as many people come out and enjoy the rodeo as they can.
Keith Albertson, CTV Sports.
Events for the rodeo will be going on all weekend at the B.W. Pickett Arena. There will be 13 programs in attendance.
Colorado State's Jasmine Webster grabbed headlines over the weekend at the Tom Benich Invitational in Greeley. Webster jumped 6 feet on the dot, winning the high jump by 3 inches, tying her previous indoor record, while setting a new outdoor record for the Rams. Jonathan Edmonds also had a record-breaking performance this weekend, beating his previous record in the triple jump with a performance of 50-10. Colorado State women won the tournament with a score of 183, while the men team just fell short to Wyoming with a score of 154. The track and field team will now head to Boulder for the CU Invitational on April 10th and 11th.
It's time for another break.
And today was opening day. We'll break down our predictions for the Rockies this season after their astonishing 10-1 win.
Ooh, don't go away.
Today we will review one of the most convenient services the Laurie Student Center has to offer, shopping. The CSU bookstore boasts an unparalleled selection of CSU apparel and gifts. It also supplies students with textbooks as well as a number of office and school supplies for your every need. Another LSC shopping option lies in the Transit Center area. Snack food, beverages, personal care items, and school supplies. Cam's Lobby Shop is your go-to stop and shop.
Welcome back to CTV Sports. A national championship game is going on right now between Duke and Wisconsin, and it's all knotted up at the half. Trav, 31-31.
31-31. Who you got in this one, Pat?
I'm leaning towards Duke, but you never know. They were able to edge it out against Butler the last time they won a championship, and that went down to the rope, so it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, I've got Duke in this one also, but Wisconsin hanging in there. Maybe they could pull some more late magic like they've been doing all tournament long.
Yeah, that's all you can ask for.
Well, now it's baseball season. Now that basketball season over, we have baseball. And Patty, the Rockies get the big win today. How do you think they look this season?
They are looking good. Their offense is hitting on all cylinders, kind of what everyone expected. They always play great in the spring, but they didn't disappoint. And pitching staff, I think I'm more surprised that they had a shutout this game, and I think that'll be key all season is this pitching staff and the bullpen. Can the bullpen get it done? Because I have no confidence in the starting staff.
It's been the same every year. Can Tulowitzki, can Cargo, can Arenado now all stay healthy? I think if they stay healthy, have a good season, and the pitching can stay there, the Rockies will have a pretty good season here. Possibly 80 wins.
Ooh. And we're going to call it a night tonight. But if you miss all parts of our show tonight, you can check it out on collegian.com under the sports tab.
And be sure to tune in next week for the latest in CSU Rodeo and other athletics.
Have a great night, and we'll see you next week.